All right. Why don't we begin on this fine Tuesday morning on our side, but I guess it's evening where you are. Is that right, Nick?
Yeah, it's around 8:30 in the evening at
8:30
my
in the
place.
evening. So everybody, this is Calvin Williams with Improver, and today we got a very exciting conversation. Very proud to announce that Nick has recently graduated from the Improver Challenge, and he is now working to certify as a first level coach, Toyota Kata coach, continuous improvement coach. So congratulations, Nick.
Thank you, Calvin. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So glad to have you to do this challenge with us and to have this conversation as well, to share your story with everyone else. So for those of you who don't know, Nick came into the challenge after some begging and pleading on my part because of his incredible background and everything else. And he decided to focus on growing his consultancy. And over a 30-day period, he was able to secure 3 new clients within the Improver Challenge. So excellent job there. For you guys coming into the meeting, make sure you put your video and audio on mute. The screen is recording, by the way. So let me see. I'm trying to get everybody checked in at the same time here. Too many jobs at the same time. All right. So Nick, how you doing? Nick is joining us from India. How you doing, Nick? How's it going?
I'm fine, and it's been good so far. Situation still is improving in this part of the world, but we are still hopeful that maybe in a couple of months' time, everything will be on track.
Good.
And excited now for the future.
Excellent. So, okay. So for this session, it's a Q&A session. I'll be interviewing Nick here. And if you guys will add any questions you have in the comments there, we'll actually open it up toward the end of the conversation for you guys to ask him some questions as well. I want some tough ones for Nick, because Nick has been, so Nick, you did an excellent job in the Improver Challenge. How does it feel to graduate finally and be done with that part of
it? It's really a pleasure, and it is a very story. It's a very interesting and fun-loving story during this time and during the challenge. We had very good group for the Improver Challenge, and for me it was more interesting because I was actually connecting from India, and that the time difference was like 12-13 hours difference. And I was like awaking every week for around a couple of hours, and my time was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the night. So that made the entire story so interesting. And even after the call and the things which we were playing with the software, I could not even sleep afterwards as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, that's great though, man. I appreciate you being willing and flexible to do that, because it's not easy to do. So it's unfortunate it had to be you, but I think now, there are folks all around the world signing up for the challenge. We can maybe pair you with some folks who are on your half of the planet going forward. So for those of you who don't know, the Improver Challenge is a program designed to help develop the habit of daily improvement. In 30 days, you get a coach, a community of 5 others who are also on their journey, and you get the software, of course, to help facilitate the process using internet technology and some other features and functionality that goes with that. It's really cool. So, all right, Nick, first question here. Why did you decide to take the Improver Challenge?
The reason here about the why, what you are asking, is its uniqueness, because this is the best software in the world right now for the continuous improvement program. And being as a coach, we always have to be on top of the things as hands-on experience about anything which we want to, take it to our coaches. So this uniqueness of the software made me to actually get attracted about this.
Yeah. I remember our early conversations. We talked about a lot of competing softwares, and there's a lot of CI softwares coming on the market, but I think you can tell the difference between somebody who built the software from real hands-on experience and somebody who just kind of grew up in
Yeah, so I'll tell you my background about how I reached to improver. Being a coach in the continuous improvement, things and stuff in services, especially for the consulting service. I was looking for something which is very unique in nature and actually directly connecting to people who really want to make improvements. Excellent. So I could also find around 8-9 softwares, and I have gone through their demos, but I could see these as one of the amazing software, and that actually created the love within to get attached with the software.
There you go. Yeah, good. Excellent. Okay, so what are you trying to achieve long term? Like you ended up securing 3 new clients and doing a lot of other good stuff as part of the Improvement Challenge. Like, what's your long term goal? Like, where are you trying to get to in a year's time?
So basically, in our domain, my own vision to become a very trusted advisor to my clients. That is a long term vision, and to reach to that vision, I always have to see that how I can improve my potentials or how I can develop my own disciplines and habits to actually achieve that long-term vision.
Good. So for those of you who don't know, Nick, I think you started your consultancy probably a year ago, right? You started
Yeah. So what I was having around 1.5 decades of total experience, and I was into various multinational corporations for my hands-on experience about these tools and techniques. I also worked with a good consulting organizations where I gained my skills and competencies about how to deal with clients and how to actually help them to achieve their goals, and to offer the solutions which can help them to improve their challenges. Yes. So that 1.5 decade of experience actually gave me a lot of confidence to learn the things and conditions of the clients, and then to offer them the right tools and techniques to improve their overall business performance.
Excellent. Okay, good. So you had a long-term vision of growing your client base, providing a better service to your clients. How did you decide your target condition, and what exactly was your target condition for this challenge?
So I still remember when we started this Improver Challenge. It was like mid of June when we started our challenge. So it was a time where everybody was actually going through the crisis time of this COVID-19, and that had actually disturbed the entire industry, including our part of the world and some of my international clients as well. And people like us who are in these consulting organizations or consulting services, these crises has actually generated a lot of restrictions for us to actually be physically available to the clients. Okay. So we cannot travel, we cannot be with them, we cannot understand them to see their Gamba or soft load. So that was actually hurting my overall business and the revenue part. From there, when I entered to the Improver Challenge, first thing which we had to decide was the target condition, because it is purely designed on the Kata principle. And the first step for the Kata principle was to see your target condition, what you want to achieve, and whatever you are doing now when you are not getting results, what exactly you want to stretch yourself to that target condition. So I defined my target condition as reaching out around 10 to 15 clients every day in the time of the crisis. Okay, these clients are existing clients or new prospect clients, just to understand their current situation and then to learn that exactly how they are going through. So if I understand their position, I can also help them to actually come out of the crisis time and then to resume their operations. So my target condition was to reaching out around 15 clients a day.
Yeah. Okay. So really, you're at being an early stage startup for a consultancy, a lot of the work you focused on was prospecting, reaching out to clients, letting them know that you were out here, you were available to help, and the services that you provide. Right? Is that an accurate assessment?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
All right. So, what were the key takeaways from the work you did, and what specific improvements did you make?
So the overall program is designed in a very nice way, where we had to touch incremental number of improvements every week, and in the first week we had to do one improvement every day, and then in next week that number of improvements was increasing. if I recall my all improvements, that I could end up with around 15, 20 total improvements. But just if I have to explain someone the top 3 or top 5 improvements which actually helped me to secure these new clients during this time of crisis as well. So first point I wanted to discuss is I was doing the random calls to my clients, and that was actually not helping me to achieve my target condition. So what I started looking, I developed a habit of calling my clients on a very standard time. So I was also learning that behavior, and learning that behavior was also telling me that people are busy during some of the slots of the day. So I cannot directly call them in the morning slot, So after learning the behavior of during the calls, I defined my standard time to actually call to my people, and then to actually understand the situation. So whenever they are a little bit free or at a peace, they can also respond me well. So that was the number 1 improvement, and that actually converted into the habit. So I'm still taking that forward today.
Interesting.
Number 2,
what ended up being the best time to call? Just curious.
So I identified one call just after a couple of hours of that lunch time. Okay, so that time normally people are literally available for, they're looking for new things on YouTube, or new suppliers, or new people who can help them to improve their business.
Very cool.
So that behavior of customer actually helped me to, design my calls at the right time, so I can pitch what I want to actually discuss with them.
Good. Okay. Interesting.
Another thing which also helped me, because I was talking to people and I was also learning that how is the situation, what exactly they are looking for. So I also defined something called as standard work. And we all know, being the continuous improvement coach and the consultants, or the professionals in this background, we know the importance of standard work. Mm-hmm. Standard work actually helped me to, go to the client with a very specific, I would say, script. Okay. So my standard work was having the content, like what to discuss, how much to discuss, and what direction you will have to bring to your client. Okay. So if suppose I have to call for around 6 minutes to one client, then I actually develop the standard works, that how I'm going to utilize the 6 minutes, and then to actually convert my client to, give him the confidence that he's the right coach to work with, something like that.
That's great, because the reality is people have a finite amount of time to spend with you, right? They got to get back to work. So by standardizing, I bet you could kind of front load the conversation with the main things you wanted to hit before you lost their attention, really, right?
Exactly. Because what happens in this time of crisis, actually being the coach, we have to be very much precise and productive enough when we talk to our clients during this call.
Yeah, good.
So that made me so sharp enough to actually, talk very specific things, to understand their position, and to offer that what exactly we can provide them as a service, and to improve their overall performance for the business.
Excellent. I mean, that's true. That's a good principle to have, whether or not you're an external consultant, calling on potential coachees, or if you're an internal person who is looking to influence leadership and, get time with them and get them to think and focus more on continuous improvement. So that's great. That's a great learning. So what are some of did you have another improvement that you wanted to talk on?
I also would like to inform the people who are connecting us, and then, whoever will see our video, that we have to be very much focused about our target audience. And what we have learned during this time and, course of the career which we carry with us, I made my calls segregated or divided them into 3 different sectors. So I had to make around 15 calls a day. So what I did exactly, I focused on 3 sectors every day. So I have a very long list of, mail list and the contact list in my own contacts around the world. But then I divided them into the 3 different sectors of industry. And I used to call around 5 people for sector. So that made my list of 15 people. And this has also helped me to understand what is exactly going in which sector. And as a service provider, what we can actually bring up to that people and actually help them to, become comfortable while resuming their operations. So this also helped me to organize my calls, and then to also give the confidence to my clients that yes, he's the right service provider.
Yeah, it sounds like you did some degree of like niching, right? Kind of defining your niches that you're going to focus on. And I bet that made your research and, you know, how you design your service offerings more tailored to the specific types of folks you were calling on. So you have more impact conversation, high impact conversations.
Yeah, definitely. That helps.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So from the whole thing, you know, what would you say were the key learnings from the whole process, the whole Improver Challenge? What were your biggest takeaways?
The biggest takeaway was a confidence which I could build during the time of crisis also, because people are struggling, really struggling in our community. People are struggling to secure new proposals, new assignments with clients. And even this time of crisis also, I could secure 3, and it is not small assignments. It is 3 big ticket assignments.
Yeah, right. Good.
And that is the biggest, takeaway, and that is the biggest actually improvements, or that is the biggest benefit for me being part of these wonderful improvements challenge journey.
Yeah, excellent. So if you could do it again, what would you do differently? It sounds like you got a lot out of this round as well, but what would you do differently if you got a second go at it?
This program, this software has so many wonderful features, and it is very nicely designed. A lot of care has been taken while designing this software. It has created a lot of videos and tutorial materials along with the software features and all. Yeah. If I have to do something different or to do something, better than what exactly we did during these 4-5 weeks of time, then I would think I would focus more on this content which is already available with all of us. And if we really use these content, then I think we can, it will be very easy for us to also see our target condition in a very precise time.
Interesting. Okay.
So understanding the target condition in initial phase of our Improver Challenge is the most critical thing, which I want to, improve when I have to do this next time.
That's a good point, because as the coach, I deliberately try to, only say, hey, let's focus on certain features. But you're right. There are other features that, like the PDCA root cause analysis functionality, that could maybe make the process a little easier to understand, easier to follow. So good. That's a good point. And all that content is already out there. It's in the user dashboard. So anybody who has an account, accounts are free, by the way. Feel free to use those videos that are out there to as a guide to sort of orient you to the technology itself. Very cool. So Nick, after such a success with the Improver Challenge, what's next for Nick? What do you got on your plate? What's coming down the pipeline?
There are so many things in pipeline, and hence the confidence has improved like touching the sky. I'm actually hoping so many good things to happen with me and my consulting services. I'm about to coming up with some, interesting services, not only one part of the world, but, extending that to the global level. So I'm designing so many things, but I would like to mention to our today's group that what we have actually learned and developed these habits and discipline. So habits and discipline actually make our improvement efforts to convert into the great results for our overall business performance. Yeah. And what I want to, carry on and continue from this moment of time is to, stick to these habits, stick to these disciplines, which can even make my overall, competency or my own confidence a little bit better. So that is a thing which I'm going to focus next. And since if I really focus on these things, the outcomes will be really encouraging, it will be exciting. Yeah. So I'm going to use these some of the takeaways and insights which I could gather from this challenge, and that I will use in my own business, to actually become a better coach to people, and then to, deliver great results with right amount of time.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So just to sort of reiterate what Nick is saying is, not only are you developing good productive habits in general, right, and kind of experimenting and finding, better ways of doing the work, you're also developing a habit of daily improvement, right? Making a new experiment every day to sort of shorten the time necessary to get from A to B, right? And in your case, you're looking to grow a thriving consultancy that's good customer base, good revenue numbers, and those kind of things, building a business essentially. That's something that could take, 5-10 years to do, but with this process, you could potentially get there in, less than a year. So that's essentially what you're doing. Speaking of reaching for the sky, I am really enjoying your background. I think it's making me feel so relaxed and calm. So that's a nice touch there, Nick. Appreciate it.
Pleasure, pleasure connecting you, all of you, man.
Yeah, man. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to open it up and take a few questions from the audience. We got a few here. Let me take a quick look before Zoom kicks us out. Let me see. All right. I got a good one here from Jim. Jim, what's up? Shout out to Jim V from the VIP section of the webcast. So Nick, what was your greatest obstacle to overcome during the Improver Challenge? What do you feel you struggled with, and then how, what was the greatest obstacle there?
See, when we work on any new things to happen with us, it becomes difficult in the initial phase when we have to explore, some level of hypothesis or experimentation. So if you are not on top of that hypothesis or experimentation properly, then it converts or become your obstacle to achieve your target condition. So there is, as such, it was not an obstacle because we had a wonderful coach with us during the entire 4-5 weeks of time. And we were very open to discuss our, day-to-day problems or issues which we were facing during the challenge. And our coach was very, kind enough to get back to us and then to guide us. So my point here is that, to develop the habit, we may have some difficulties or some, problems to actually adopt that. But that actually we discuss with our coach and then find out the solution for that.
Man, very good. And thanks for the plug on the coach. Sometimes as a coach, you don't know what's going on in other people's heads, but appreciate the feedback there. So I got a question here from Mario. What's up, Mario? How did you define the metrics to use and track your progress? So how did you define your measure of success?
So in the second week, we were just, getting aligned with the software and the overall program of the Improver Challenge. But when we actually reached to end of the second week and third week, then we realized that, measuring the success is also very much important. So in my case, because it was more on the calling front to clients and all, I actually developed the habit to manage a CRM software. Okay, in my CRM software, it was a wonderful dashboard I was using, that my CRM software was actually helping me to align that what is the progress of each call you have to make to people, and that how you can, convert that dashboard into the measure of success. So that was my story about measuring the success.
So even though Improver served as a gateway in a sense to a different technology, right? So you were using Improver to find the best way to operate and run your business, but it led you down a path of discovering other tools and other software that actually made the work more efficient. In fact, the performance data, representation or graphical representation in Improver software itself is a measure of success for whatever we want to do, so that guides properly. Yeah, excellent. Awesome. All right, cool. Next question here. I got a question from Krista. What's up, Krista? Happy Tuesday. So what is the software offering specifically that you leverage with your clients during the challenge period? That's interesting. That makes sense? You want to read it again? What is the software offering specifically that you leverage with your clients during the challenge period? So did you actually use the software with clients during the challenge? I know you were engaging some folks outside of the challenge.
Yeah. So see, since I was talking to multiple clients, there was a specific case with each of them. I was more promoting my consulting services to them to understand their current situation and to help them to improve their situation. And in some of the conversations when we had, that some areas like Industry 4.0 or Digital Factory, we also explored some other software which can help them to develop the entire connected factory to their organization. But I will also come back to the Improver Challenge. So my challenge was to actually develop my own habit about making my own process smooth enough. So that actually was the key area to focus.
And I know Nick and I talked about at least one other client that he's working with. Now that Nick is a coach, he's able to take the same Improve a Challenge process into his clients' organizations. And of course, the software model from a pricing standpoint is free for the first 5 users in the company. After the 6th user, meaning it's showing some early success, 5 is sort of a pilot. 6 is like, it's showing success. Then the paywall kicks in. It's about $15 a month per person. So not bad at all. And I know we've got a couple of clients who have shown a high degree of interest already. So let me grab another one here. We'll take another one from Jim. Jim wants to know, would it be fair to say that this tool is a great resource for mind/brain training? Interesting.
Yeah, it is because it has a very robust process-driven approach in the software, which is purely dependent on the kata process. And the kata process always help us to actually, improve our internal psychological mindset first to adopt few things. And then when we focus on the psychology, that actually converts into our habits and behaviors. So I would say that, yes, it is having a lot of impact on what you are asking.
Yeah, most of us think of people developing software, or this is an idea of software developing people. That's the way I like to look at it. That's the way I like to look at it. Okay, and let's take one more before we close out, since we did start a couple minutes late. We'll grab one more question here. Rafa, what's up, Rafa? How you doing, man? Rafa asked $1 million question. Why is it better than pencil and paper to use the software versus to just do the traditional version, traditional approach?
So I would say that the world is becoming digital, and the biggest advantage of having this software is to connect multiple operations or multiple plants in different geography. So when you sit with pencil and paper, you will have to focus on a very limited geography or very limited group of people. But here there is advantage of bringing this opportunity to as many as people you want to connect with. So I would say that since everybody is going digital and continuous improvement professionals also have to start thinking that how they can also make themselves digital and available enough for people to actually explore the unprecedented potential of human beings.
I like that. No, that's a great response. I'm going to add a little bit to that. If you think about traditional continuous improvement, take pen and paper, whiteboards, print forms, all those sticky notes, those kind of things. That's what's called black box continuous improvement, right? You use those tools, you get value from them in the moment, but a day later, not long later, you don't have that history anymore, right? And because you don't have that history, because you don't have that context anymore, you can't necessarily improve, and you can't use things like artificial intelligence to continually improve on the way you improve, right? So technology now is building itself, and if the future of Improver is to build the intelligence to where it's doing a better and better job over time of engaging people organically in the continuous improvement process and helping them produce better and better results over time. So those are things you just can't get with pen and paper that you will get with technology as a sort of differentiator. All right, we're about to run out of time. In fact, Zoom is about to kick us out of the party. So before we close out, Nick, how can people reach you if they want to learn more about what you're doing, if they want to seek you out as a coach for the Improver Challenge, or learn more about what you're offering?
For anything with Improver and the challenge, I think Calvin and Improver is available online and everywhere. But if people specifically who wants to reach out to me, they can they can come to my LinkedIn profile, and I have my all contact details on my LinkedIn profile. And you can also see that how I'm exploring some very interesting things with my clients, and to deal with the crises and so many things on my LinkedIn profile. So I would request people to join me on the LinkedIn profile, and in future also I'm coming up with very, very good excitement and new service line. So maybe in a couple of weeks time, you can also have a look on that as well.
Excellent. All right, guys, that's our time. I really appreciate you guys joining us for this. Nick, as always, it's always a great pleasure working with you. Great job on the Improver Challenge. For the rest of you, I hope to see you on the next webcast. This is Calvin with Improver. If you want to learn more about Improver or the Improver Challenge or how you can become a coach or how you can use this as an accelerant for your continuous improvement efforts, look for us on improver.com, IMPRUVER.com. Otherwise, Nick, enjoy the beach, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure connecting everyone, and thank you for your time. We are hoping that we can improve the situation and the world drastically.